Hey folks, this is Blades here, and I posted on Reddit the other day my real item elevator. And I have a clip of it as well on my YouTube channel, but I had a lot of requests for a tutorial. And there was a lot of requests for or ideas for enhancements, so I wanted to try some of those. The tutorial is going to be a little bit later if you in the video, if you want to go to, like a block by block tutorial, skip towards the end there. Right now, I'm going to kind of just show you, reveal what's behind the curtains on this real item elevator, and kind of talk about the components. First and foremost, I'm not a redstone expert, so forgive me. I'm sure there's some redstoners out there that can improve any of that. Most of my stuff has been guesswork on all of this, so let's check it out. This is basically the simplest design you can have for this, and this is the real magic that I think kind of confuses everybody, is that when the chains get down here, they're just pushed horizontal like regular blocks, but as in most of the time, I hide that layer with some sort of decoration block. Basically, there's a clock here that is sending a signal every now and then, connects to this first piston, and it'll push that piston up, which pushes up here. This observer will detect that a block has been moved whenever it pushes this one up, and then will kick this piston off, pushing this way. Same thing with this observer. It detects and then pushes this piston all the way down here. Same thing with this observer, detects and then pushes this piston. So it's really just the four pistons pushing these in a circle. So we can connect this clock, and you can see that it's just going to start going around and around and around. Now, I thought about some different things. I was able to, at least on the video the other day, toss something luckily into there. I missed right there, but toss something into here and have it carry around, uh, which, yes, 100% feasible to do. And then you can have a hopper at the top, pull that out. So you can see that redstone's still in there. So I took that one step further just to kind of talk about that. Took that one step further, and this one I'm going to shut off this one because my computer's not great to be running so many at once. I took that with this idea here, and I hooked it up to a dropper that's feeding in gold. So we have gold in here in this one. So the main difference in this model right here is that we're going to auto-populate all of these things with gold from some sort of imaginary gold farm up high up in maybe your nether. And kind of have that auto-populate these, and it'll go down here, and then when it gets down to the bottom here, it's going to suck it out and put in this chest. So we'll empty that chest there. What's interesting about this is when these come up, you'll notice these are different. They are actually filled with one seed or one whatever to give them something that when they come by here, they're able to be detected by this and send a signal to this dropper to drop an item. So let's turn this on and then we can see. The other day I had it running in the reverse and bringing items upwards. This one is bringing items downwards. So we turn this one on here. Oops. Turn this one on here, and you'll see that it'll start spitting these gold bars into the baskets right there, and then they'll come down. As they come down. They just kind of look a little weird when they're hanging there. They come down here and eventually get picked up by the hopper. We should start seeing some gold bars coming to the hopper there. Let's make sure this first one gets pulled out, and there it is, and the next one's going to get pulled out. Now, something interesting to note is you saw how I kind of kick-started this, and we'll kind of go into that in the tutorial, but if you break one of these, it'll kill it because it's missing a link, and this will just pulse. You can always just add an item back into the circle, and it'll kick it off again. There's only one last thing. It's kind of the grand finale that I want to show you before the tutorial, and it's in the nether. So stick with me while I run to the nether real quick. And I built it up on the roof of the nether because I didn't want to deal with other mobs spawning, because it does require you to have it not on peaceful. And as you can guess, somebody had mentioned this on this one as well. That, let me start it up again. Somebody had mentioned, why not add the gold in here for the pigmen to be populated? So this is just like the outside one. It's a little wider that goes around, but that's exactly what's happening here, is that this pigman will now grab the gold bars out of the baskets when they come around, and he's got a couple of hoppers underneath him, and he'll drop his traded items. Now, he doesn't trade as quickly, so the baskets are a little space farther apart, and you would probably lose some gold if I didn't have a hopper right here, so that way it pulls any gold bars out. Again, if you're looking for something that's efficiency, this is not it. This is going to have loss either in this pigman, it's going to pick it up and drop gold in there, or I'm sure every now and then, either due to lag or my timing's not being right, that you'll lose a gold bar. But in my survival world that I plan on adding this into, I've got so much gold and so much things like iron to where it's not that big of a concern. I enjoy more the aesthetics of it, and to have this cool little system here. You could probably solve that if you put 2 or 3 pigmen on here. The first pigman doesn't pick it up, maybe the next one will pick it up. But I wanted to have kind of the open space that you could see. But it's pretty much the same thing, it's just hidden right there. I'll be right back to show you the kind of the block by block tutorial on that basic one. Alright, to build this, the first thing you're going to need is to create that clock. Again, there might be some better redstone experts out there, and I don't really care which clock you build, but the clock I was using to get my timings right. Throw down a redstone block here, and then you want to go out from it 1, 2, 3, 4 comparators, 2 redstone dust like this, and then back 3 comparators, 1, 2, 3, a redstone dust, and then you need to put this first one in subtraction mode, and that'll start kicking off your clock pulse. From there, you're going to want to take and put your first piston, and it should look something like that right there. Next, we're going to want to determine the height of our thing. I'm going to use the piston push limit. You don't have to use that height. It probably won't look it probably look worse if you use something lower, so I probably would recommend the piston push limit. The easiest way to do that, you can count it, but I just am going to continue to put chains on there till this piston quits firing, and that'll give us the correct height to have us at the piston push limit. And there we go. So now we've reached the piston push limit. Next, we're going to come over here to our chain, and we're going to make sure that we're trying to get a piston to push this across in the next direction that we want. So you can use a temporary block right there, but you're going to basically need to have a piston facing this way. And then you're going to want to grab an observer and have it facing right there like that, to where the face is facing into the chain, because that's what it's going to want to be looking at. Next, coming off of the observer here, you're going to need to put a temporary block there. We want to have a repeater and move the delay twice, and then we're going to put this here like so. Now if we break these, you can see that it pushed that one over as soon as another one came in there, and there should always be a gap right there at one of those. If we added another one here, you would see it go up and push over, and continue to see it go up and push over. So next, we're going to need to go to the other side. We're going to determine how far we're going to go apart. I'm only going to go to right here. And then we're going to need to create a piston to push downwards. So those are just temporary blocks like so. And then we're going to need to do the same thing with an observer facing downwards like so. So you should have an observer facing the chain and a piston ready to push downwards in that same. Next, we're going to put a block here to receive that signal, and then a block here. We're going to come off of this with a repeater into another block right here, and then we are going to have this signal run over here with, oops, let me grab the redstone dust, and we're going to have this go here and then bring this down to here like so. and that will then, whenever detect a change in this one, to push it downwards. So if we come over here, and again we start feeding our piston tape, it's going to start pushing that downwards, as you can see every time one comes over there. Alright, next we're going to come down here directly below this one, and we're going to go one out and then come one over and put our piston there, and then put our observer again facing the correct way into the chain, where the chain's going to be right there. So this should be straight underneath where that one's coming down, straight across from where it's going to feed back into eventually. Next we're going to add a block here and here, and then add again on 2 ticks delay right here, and we are going to put 2 more temporary blocks and a block here, and have the redstone dust come across right here like this. This pretty much should complete the loop now. The next thing to do, as I said, would be, if you wanted to right now, might be a good time to go in and add however often you want your baskets. Right, oops, here, maybe right here, and maybe right here. And then you can kind of try to sync them in, add a couple of chains, and then add a basket, add a chain, add a basket, chain, 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 basket, and final chain. And there we go. It is now going all on its own. Like I said, I won't go into the details probably on the automatic dropper, but that's pretty straightforward. As I said, you're just going to be detecting that and then spitting items into it. I think if you're that advanced that you have enough gold and things like that, you can probably figure it out from the clips earlier on. Same thing with the bartering. I hope to, at some point, get the piglin to be able to throw the items back into here and have them travel back up. I think that feature would be really neat as well. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. It was really fun getting so much feedback on Reddit. I thought it was really cool aesthetically, but didn't think it would blow so many minds. But again, guys and girls, I appreciate all the love you gave me for this idea. Thanks. Bye.
Hmm?